संसारदावानललीढलोका त्रणयकारुण्यघनघना त्वम् प्राप्तस्य कल्याणगुणनवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् महाप्रभु कीर्तन नित्यगीता वादित्रमाध्यान्मनसोरसेना रोमञ्चकम्पाश्रुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यनाना शृङ्गारतान्मन्दिरमजनादो युक्तस्य भक्तांश्च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् चतुर्विधा श्रीभगवत्प्रसाद स्वदन्नतृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतिक्षणा स्वधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् निकुञ्जयोनोरतिकेलिसिद्धै यायालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षात् अतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैरुक्तस्तथा भाव्यतैव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभुर्यः प्रियैव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वंस्तस्य यशस्श्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् 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 नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. जय राधा नीलमाधव राधा नीलमाधव श्री राधे जय राधा नीलमाधव राधा नीलमाधव राधे राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शना जय सीताराम 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 जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
Jai Om Shnupada Brahmamsa Pratika Acharya Ashtota Shata Shishmad His Divine Grace Aparachana Rinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Bhaktivedanta Institute Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shnupada Brahmamsa Pratika Acharya Ashtota Shata Shishmad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavan Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridasa Thakur Ki Jai Premise co-host Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Purushottama Chaitra Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glory to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Daine Hiranyakashipo Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimho Yato Yato Yamikato Narsimha Bahe Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho Narasimramadim Sharanam Prapadye Tava Karakamala Bhare Nakam Adbhuta Shengam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Brengam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ए अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ए अभिलाषी जे तुम्हारे शरण लोय तारा वांछ पूर्ण होय कृपा कोरी करो तारे वृंदावनवासी मोरा ये अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास नायाने हरिबो सदा युगल रूपरासी ए निवेदनद सखीरनुगत करो ए निवेदनदारु सखीरनुगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी दीन कृष्ण दास कोई न मोरा होय दीन कृष्ण दास कोई न मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदा ये न बासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदा ये न बासी यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्मत्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्माद्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tusi Maharani, Jaya Tusi Maharani, Jaya Tusi Maharani, Jaya Tusi Maharani. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Vrinda Devi, Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Vrindaya Tulasidevaaya Priyaya Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasidevaaya Priyaya Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasidevaaya Priyaya Keshavascha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavadaya Namo Namaha. Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Oh Tulasi, beloved of Krishna, I bow down before you again and again. My desire is that in the service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has wished and fulfilled. Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident in Vrindavan. My desire also grant me residence in the precious grove of Sri Vrindavan town. Thus within my wish I shall behold the beautiful path of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of Harold Dancer's virgin. Please give me privilege devotional service and make me home maid servant. This very fallen lotus of the Krishna faith. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. 7. To commit sinful activity and strength to chant the holy name of the Lord. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, Karma, Ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses. In order to quickly achieve desired success, Krishna Prema. Now let us offer most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as thy trees who can fulfill to everyone, and the full compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto darpana marjanam pavamaha davagni nirvapanam. Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam. Anandam Pudivardhanam Pratipadam Purunaramita Swadanam. Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Nam Namagari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranina Kalaha Etadishi Tavakripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Disham Yahajanina Nuragaha Trinatapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim, Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye, Mama Jammani, Jammanishvare, Pavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavayi, Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Man Vishame Bhavam Buddha, Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja, Stita Duri Sadesham Vichintaya, Nayanam Galadashuru Daraya, Vadanam Gadgada Rudaya Gira, Pulakai Nichitam Vapur Kadatava Nama Grahane Bhavishati Yuga Itam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Itam Shunya Itam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashirishava Padaratam Pinashtumam Adarshanam Marmhatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Va Vitatatu Lampato Mat Prana Nathastu Saeva Na Paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years, and the extinguishes fire of conditional life or repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity in large, because it spreads a rays on the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction to human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to commit wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Mahananda Krishna, I am an eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death, and place me at one Adam the lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorative of love flowing constantly when I chant the holy names, while my voice choke up, and hair my body stand end the recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm constant moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charana prayers ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachatyate Shatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Darine Rupa Nuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinapanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Srator Pangor Mamamanda Materkati Masarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindarana Kalpadurmadaha Shimadranakara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaribi Sevamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastitaha Karasham Venu Sanera Gopir Gopinatha Shiyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangala Charan prayers ki jai Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasuka Praviksha Lakshariteshu Surabi Rabi Parayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Parharvatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandharpagoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakala Savanamara Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakeli Kalavilasam Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Ritimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimmaya Satujula Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlapam Adurlapam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo Vayuratapi manaso muni pangavanam Sophyasti yapapata simya vichinta tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Eko piyasora chaitum jagadanta kotim Ya chakti rasti jagadanta chayaya dantaha Antantarastha paramanu chayantarastham Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Yad bhava pavitadiyo manujastateva Samprapya rupa mahimasana yana pushaha Suktaryam eva nikama patitai stuvanti Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Ananda chimma rasa patipavitapi Stapi evan charupa daya kalapi Goloka eva nivasatya kilatma buddho Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Premanjana churuta bhakti vilochanena Santa sateva hitayeshu vilokayanti Yam shama sundam achintya guna swarupam Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Ramadi murtishu kalanyamena tishtan Nanavataram akaro bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samapava paramapumam yo Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock feathers, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always reveals in the pastime of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyam Sundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, he is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal pursuer. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities. In the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyamasundara, Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., and his subjective portions.
Bhagavad Gita. Alternate translation from Bhagavad Gita, purport 7.1. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hrudayanta histo hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrit satam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye चेत एतैरनाविधं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थेश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वसमस्याः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
Alternate translation from Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear about him from him directly to the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
Alternate translation from Bhagavad Gita. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished.
When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsyam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. Sri Bhagavan idam tute guhyatamam pravashyami anusayave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase subhat. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Idam, this, tu, but, te, unto you, guhyatamam, the most confidential, pravakshami, I am speaking, anusuyave, to the non-envious, jnanam, knowledge, vijnana, realized knowledge, sahitam, with, yat, which, jnatva, knowing, mokshase, you will be released, asubhat, from this miserable material existence. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Purport. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed among us the devotees. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's service. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the signs of Krishna in the association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make the advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in this 9th chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book, and in the second and third chapters, the spiritual knowledge described is called confidential. Topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service, and because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, they are called more confidential. But the matters which are described in the ninth chapter deal with unalloyed pure devotion. Therefore, this is called the most confidential. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge of Krishna is naturally transcendental. He therefore has no material pangs, although he is in the material world. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that although one who has sincere desire to render loving service to the Supreme Lord is situated in the conditional state of material existence, he is to be considered liberated. Similarly, we shall find in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter that anyone who is engaged in that way is a liberated person. Now, this first verse has specific significance. The words idam jnanam, this knowledge, refer to pure devotional service, which consists of 9 different activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, obeying, maintaining friendship, and surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one's heart is thus cleared of material contamination, one can understand this science of Krishna. Simply to understand that a living entity is not material is not sufficient. That may be the beginning of spiritual realization, but one should recognize the difference between activities of the body and the spiritual activities of one who understands that he is not the body. In the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his different energies, the inferior and superior natures, and all this material manifestation. Now in chapter 9, the glories of the Lord will be delineated. The Sanskrit word anasuyave in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, are all envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the most erudite scholars write on Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately because they are envious of Krishna. Their commentaries are useless. The commentaries given by devotees of the Lord are bona fide. No one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. So such commentaries should be very carefully avoided. For one who understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pure and transcendental personality, these chapters will be very beneficial.
Bhagavad Gita 9.2 Raja Vidya Rajaghuyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dramyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. Raja Vidya, the king of education; Rajaghuyam, the king of confidential knowledge; Pavitram, the purest; Idam, this; Uttamam, transcendental; Pratyaksha, by direct experience; Avagamam, understood; Dharmyam, the principle of religion; Susukam, very happy; Kartum, to execute; Avyayam, everlasting. Translation: this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfect of religion. It is everlasting and is joyfully performed. Purport: this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called the king of education because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. Among the principal philosophers in India are Gautama, Kanada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, Sandilya, and Vaishnavara. And finally, there is Vyasadeva, the author of the Vedanta Sutras. So there is no dearth of knowledge in the field of philosophy or transcendental knowledge. Now the Lord says that this 9th chapter is the king of all such knowledge, the essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of the Vedas and different kinds of philosophy. It is the most confidential because confidential and or transcendental knowledge involves understanding the difference between the soul and the body, and the king of all confidential knowledge culminates in devotional service. Generally, people are not educated in this confidential knowledge. They are educated in external knowledge. As far as ordinary knowledge is concerned, people are involved with so many departments: politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, etc. There are so many departments of knowledge all over the world and many huge universities, but there's unfortunately no university or educational institution where the science of the spirit soul is instructed. Yet, the soul is the most important part of the body. Without the presence of the soul, the body has no value. Still, people are placing great stress on the bodily necessities of life and not caring for the vital soul. The Bhagavad Gita, especially from the second chapter on, stresses the importance of the soul. In the very beginning, the Lord says that this body is perishable and that the soul is not perishable. Antavanta eme dehi nityasyokta sharirina. That is a confidential part of knowledge. Simply knowing that the spirit or soul is different from this body and that its nature is immutable, indestructible, and eternal. But that gives no positive information about the soul. Sometimes people are under the impression that the soul is different from the body, and that when the body is finished or one is liberated from the body, the soul remains in a void and becomes impersonal. But actually, that is not the fact. How can the soul, which is so active within this body, be inactive after being liberated from the body? It is always active. If it is eternal, then it is eternal. Then it is eternally active, and its activities in the spiritual kingdom are the most confidential part of the spiritual knowledge. These activities of the spirit soul are therefore indicated here as constituting the king of all knowledge, the most confidential part of all knowledge. This knowledge is the purest form of all activities, as explained in Vedic literature. In the Padma Purana, man's sinful activities have been analyzed and are shown to be the results of sin after sin. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities are entangled in different stages and forms of sinful reactions. For instance, when the seed of a particular tree is sown and the tree does not appear immediately to grow, it takes some time. It is first a small sprouting plant, then it assumes the form of a tree, then it flowers and bears fruit. And when it is complete, the flowers and fruits are enjoyed by persons who have sown the seed of the tree. Similarly, a man who performs a sinful act, and like a seed, it takes time to fructify. There are different stages. The sinful action may have already stopped within the individual, but the results of the fruit of that sinful action are still to be enjoyed. These are the sins which are still, or there are sins which are still in the form of seed, and there are others which are already fructified and are giving us fruit, which we are enjoying as distress and pain. As explained in the 28th verse of the 7th chapter, a person who has completely ended the reactions of all sinful activities and is fully engaged in pious activities, being freed from the duality of this material world, becomes engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, there are those who are actually engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord are already freed from all reactions. This statement is confirmed in the Padma Purana. Aparabha palam papam kutam bijam falon mukham karmaneva praliyeta vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. For those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reactions, whether fructified in the stalk or in the form of a seed, gradually vanish. Therefore, the purifying potency of the devotional service is very strong and is called Pavitram Uttamam, the purest. Uttamam means transcendental. Tamas means this material world or darkness. And Uttama means that which is transcendental to material activities. Devotional activities are never to be considered material, although sometimes it appears that devotees are engaged just like ordinary men. One who can see and is familiar with devotional service will know that they are not material activities. They are all spiritual and devotional, uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is said that the execution of devotional service is so perfect that one can perceive the results directly. This direct result is actually perceived, and we have practical experience that any person who is chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, in course of chanting without offenses, feels some transcendental pleasure, and very quickly becomes purified of all material contamination. This actually seen. Furthermore, if one engages not only in hearing but in trying to broadcast the message of devotional activities as well, or if he engages himself in helping the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness, he gradually feels spiritual progress. This advancement in spiritual life does not depend on any kind of previous education or qualification. The method itself is so pure that by simply engaging in it, one becomes pure. In the Vedanta Sutra 3.2.26, this is also described in the following words: Prakshasya karmani abhyasat. Devotional service is so potent that simply by engaging in the activities of devotional service, one becomes enlightened without a doubt. A practical example of this can be seen in the previous life of Narada, who in that life happened to be the son of a maidservant. He had no education, nor was he born into a high family, but when his mother was engaged in serving great devotees, Narada also became engaged, and sometimes, in the absence of his mother, he would serve the great devotees himself. Narada personally says, Uchista lepan anumodito dvija sakrit sma bhunje tadapasta kilbisa evam pravtrasya vishuddha chetas Tadharma evatma ruche prajayate. In this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.25, Narada describes his previous life to his disciple Vyasadeva. He says that while engaged as a boy servant for those purified devotees, during the 4 months of their stay, he was intimately associating with them. Sometimes those sages left remnants of food on their dishes, and the boy who would wash their dishes wanted to taste the remnants. So he asked the great devotees for their permission, and when they gave it, Narada ate those remnants and consequently became freed from all sinful reactions. As he went on eating, he gradually became as pure-hearted as the sages. The great devotees relished the taste of unceasing devotional service to the Lord by hearing and chanting, and Narada gradually developed the same taste. Narada says further, Tatranam aham Krishna kata pragyayatam anugrahesana shravanam manohara tat Shridaya me nupadam vishnata priyashrayasya anga mamabhavadruchi. By associating with the sages, Narada got the taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and he developed a great desire for devotional service. Therefore, as described in the Vedanta Sutra, Prakshasya karmani abhyasat, if one is engaged simply in the acts of devotional service, and everything is revealed to him automatically, and he can understand. This is called pratyaksha, directly perceived. The word dharmyam means the path of religion. Narada was actually a son of a maidservant. He had no opportunity to go to school. He was simply assisting his mother, and fortunately, his mother rendered some service to the devotees. The child Narada also got the opportunity, and simply by association achieved the highest goal of all religion. The highest goal of all religion is devotional service, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai pumsa parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. Religious people generally do not know that the highest perfection of religion is the attainment of devotional service, as we have already discussed in regard to the last verse of chapter 8. Vedeshu yajneshu tapashu chaiva. Generally, Vedic knowledge is required for self-realization, but here, although Narada never went to the school of the spiritual master and was not educated in the Vedic principles, he acquired the highest results of Vedic study. This process is so potent that even without performing the religious process regularly, one can be raised to the highest perfection. How is this possible? This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One who is in association with great acharyas, even if he is not educated or has never studied the Vedas, can become familiar with all the knowledge necessary for realization. The process of devotional service is a very happy one. Susukam. Why? Devotional service consists of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. So one can simply hear the chanting of the glories of the Lord, or can attend philosophical lectures on transcendental knowledge given by authorized acharyas. Simply by sitting, one can learn. Then one can eat the remnants of the food offered to God. Nice, palatable dishes. In every state of devotional service is joyful. One can execute devotional service even in the most poverty-stricken condition. The Lord says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. He is ready to accept from the devotee any kind of offering, never mind what, even a leaf, a flower, a bit of fruit, or a little water, which are all available in every part of the world, can be offered by any person regardless of social position and will be accepted if he offered with love. There are many instances in history. Simply by tasting the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, great sages like Sanat Kumara became great devotees. Therefore, the devotional process is very nice and it can be executed in a happy mood. God accepts only the love with which things are offered to Him. It is said here that this devotional service is eternally existing. It is not as the Mayavadi philosophers claim. Although they sometimes take to so-called devotional service, their idea is that as long as they are not liberated, they will continue their devotional service. But at the end, when they become liberated, they'll become one with God. Such temporary, time-serving devotional service is not accepted as pure devotional service. Actual devotional service continues even after liberation. When the devotees go to the spiritual planet in the kingdom of God, he is also engaged there in serving the Supreme Lord. He does not try to become one with the Supreme Lord. As will be seen in Bhagavad Gita, actual devotional service begins after liberation. After one is liberated, when one is situated in the Brahman position, Brahma Bhuta, one's devotional service begins. Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. No one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by executing Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or any other yoga independently. By these yogic methods, one may make a little progress towards Bhakti Yoga, and without coming to the stage of devotional service, one cannot understand what is the personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed that when one becomes purified by executing the process of devotional service, especially by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from realized souls, then he can understand the science of Krishna or the science of God. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata. When one's heart is cleared of all nonsense, then one can understand what God is. Thus, the process of devotional service of Krishna consciousness is the king of all education and the king of all confidential knowledge. It is the purest form of religion, and it can be executed joyfully without difficulty. Therefore, one should adopt it.
Ashadadanaha purusha dharma ashadadanaha purusha dharmasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Ashriddadanaha, those who are faithless, purushaha, such persons, dharmasya, toward the process of religion, asya, this, parantapa, O killer of the enemies, aprapya, without obtaining, mam, me, nivartante, come back, mrityu of death, samsara in material existence, vartamani, on the path. Translation: those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Purport: the faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by association of devotees. Association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the faith is the complete conviction that simply by serving the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.31.14, Yatha tator mula nishichena trapyanti tat skanda bhujo pashkaha prano paharach cha yate driyanam tataiva sarva hanam achyutecha. By giving water to the root of a tree, one satisfies its branches, twigs, and leaves. And by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all senses of the body. Similarly, by engaging in the transcendental service of the Lord, Supreme Lord, one automatically satisfies all demigods and all other living entities. Therefore, after reading Bhagavad Gita, one should promptly come to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all other engagements and adopt the service of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one is convinced of this philosophy of life, that is faith. Now, the development of that faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. There are 3 divisions of Krishna conscious men. In the 3rd class are those who have no faith. Even if they are officially engaged in devotional service, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional state. Most probably they will sip after some time. They may become engaged because they haven't complete conviction and faith. It is very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging our missionary activity that some people come and apply them to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take to their old ways again. It is only by faith one can advance in Krishna consciousness. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literatures of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called as the first class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna Bhakti or service to Krishna is the best course, and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus they are superior to the third class, who have neither perfect knowledge of the scriptures nor good faith by association but by association and simplicity are trying to follow. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when is in the second class he does not fall down. And for the first class person in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of falling down. One in first class will surely make progress and achieve the result at the end. As far as the third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith in the conviction that devotional service to Krishna is very good, he has not yet gained adequate knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these third class persons in Krishna consciousness have some tendency toward karma yoga and jnana yoga, and sometimes they are disturbed, but as soon as the infection of karma yoga or jnana yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class persons in Krishna consciousness. Faith in Krishna is also divided into 3 stages and described in Srimad Bhagavatam. First class attachment, second class attachment, and third class attachment are also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto. Those who have no faith, even after hearing about Krishna and the excellence of devotional service, who think that is simply eulogy, find the path very difficult. Even if they are supposedly engaged in devotional service, for them there is very little hope of gaining perfection. Thus, faith is very important in the discharge of devotional service.
Chapter 9, Text 4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avastita. Maya, by me, tatam, pervaded, idam, this, sarvam, all, jagat, cosmic manifestation, avyakta murtina, by the unmanifested form, matstani, in me, sarva bhutani, all living entities, na, not, cha, also, aham, I, tesu, in them, avastita. Translation. Avastita, situated. Translation. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahyam Indriyaihi Sivanmukhi Jihvadau Swayam Yeva Spurati Ada. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, प्रेमाञ्जनचरित भक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda always within himself and outside himself if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word Avyakta Murtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet, one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere, and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestation that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vistabhyaham idam Krishnam. He is everywhere, present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies.
Nine 9.5 9.5 Nachamatstani bhutani pashmaye yogameshwaram bhutabrum nacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavana. Na, never, cha, also, matstani, situated in me, bhutani, all creation. Pasya, just see, me, my, yogam ashvaram, inconceivable mystic power. Bhuta, Brit, the maintainer of all living entities. Na, never, shall, also, bhutasta, in the cosmic manifestation. Mama, my, Atma, self, Bhuta Bhavana, the source of all manifestations. Translation. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic power opulence, my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. Purport. The Lord says that everything is resting on him. Matstani sarva bhutani. This should not be misunderstood. The Lord is not directly concerned with maintenance and sustenance of this material manifestation. Sometimes we see a picture of Atlas holding the globe on his shoulders. He seems to be very tired holding this great earthly planet. Such an image should not be entertained
entertained in connection with Krishna's upholding this created universe. He says that although everything is resting on him, he is aloof. The planetary systems are floating in space, and this space is the energy of the Supreme Lord. But he is different from space. He is differently situated. Therefore, the Lord says, although they are situated on my inconceivable energy as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am aloof from them. This is the inconceivable opulence of the Lord. In the Nirukuti Vedic dictionary, it is said, Vujyate Nena Durgasteshu Karyeshu. The Supreme Lord is performing inconceivable, wonderful pastimes, displaying his energy. His person is full of different potent energies, and his determination is itself actual fact. In this way, the energies and his determination. In this way, the personality of Godhead is to be understood. We may think of doing something, but there are so many impediments, and sometimes it is not possible to do as we like. But when Krishna wants to do something simply by his willing, everything is performed so perfectly that one cannot imagine how it is being done. The Lord explains this fact. Although he is the maintainer and sustainer of the entire material manifestation, he does not touch this material manifestation. Simply by his supreme will, everything is created, everything is sustained, everything is maintained, and everything is annihilated. There is no difference between his mind and himself, as there is a difference between ourselves and our present material mind. Present material mind. Because he is our absolute spirit. Simultaneously, the Lord is present in everything, yet the common man cannot understand how he is also present in everything. He is also present personally. He is different from personally. He is different from this material manifestation, yet everything is resting on him. This is explained here as Yoga Aishvaram, the mystic power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 9.6.
9.6 यथा स्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानित्य उपाधारय. Yatha, just as Akasa Sthita, situated in the sky, Nityam, always, Vayu, the wind, Sarvatra Gaha, blowing everywhere, Mahan, great, Tatha, similarly, Sarvani Bhutani, all created being, Matstani, situated in me, Iti, thus, Upadharya, try to understand. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rest always in the sky, all created being rest in me. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be biggest manifestation we can conceive, And in the sky, the wind of or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movement of everything. But although the wind is great, it is not it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of Lord, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, everything is moving under His will. By His will, everything is being created, everything is being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, He is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. In Upanishads, it is stated, Yad Visha Vata Pavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Taittiriya, Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1. In Brahma Aranyakya Upanishad 3. In Brihad Aranyakya Upanishad 3.8.9, it is stated, एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रसने गार्गी सूर्य चंद्रमसौ विधृतु तिष्ठा एतस्य वा अक्षरस्य प्रशासने गार्जी ध्यौ अपर्थिवयु विधृत विधृतौ तिष्ठा. By the supreme order one under the supreme by the supreme order under the super independence of the by the supreme order under the superintendence of the supreme personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and the other great planets are moving. In Brahm Samhita 5.52 also it is stated, Yet chakshur es savita sakala grahanam raj samasta sura murtir अशेष तेजा यस्याजन्य सज यस्य ज्ञाय ब्रह्मति भ्रमति संभृत काल चक्रो गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तम अहम भजामि. This is the description of the movement of the sun. It is stated that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of Supreme Lord and that it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in the prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So, the Vedic literature we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to us to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the latter verses of this chapter.
Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 9.7. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritam yanti mamakam kalpakasheta punyatsatani kalpadu vishwaramaham. Sarvabhutani, all created entities, kaunteya, O son of Kunti, prakritim, nature, yanti, enter, mamakam, my, kalpakshya, at the end of the millennium, puna, again, tani, all those, kalpa adu, in the beginning of millennium, visarjami, create, I. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Prabhupada, O son of Kunti. At the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Purport by Prabhupada, the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on supreme will of the personality of Godhead. At the end of the millennium means at the death of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years and his one day is calculated at 4,300,000,000 years of our earthly years. His night is of the same duration. His month consists of his month consists of 30 days, such days and nights, and its year of 12 months After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. Then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. Bhusayam, although I am one, I shall become many. This is Vedic Aphorism Chandodaya Upanishad 6.3. He expands himself in this material energy and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place.
Bhagavad Gita 9.8 प्रकृति स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामम्यं कृतसनं वशं प्रकृति वशातम्. Synonyms: Prakritim, the material nature, swam of my personal self, avastabhya, entering into, Vishrajami, I create, Punaha Punaha, again and again, Bhuta, Gramam, all the cosmic manifestations, Imam, these, Krishnanam, in total, Avasam, automatically, Prakrate, of the force of nature, Vasat, under obligation. Translation: the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This material world is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has already been explained several times. At the creation, the material energy is let loose as the Mahat Tattva, into which the Lord is his first Purusha incarnation. Mahavishnu enters. He lies within the casual ocean and breathes out innumerable universes, and into each universe the Lord again enters as Garbha Bodhaka Sai Vishnu. Each universe is in that way created. He still further manifests himself as Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, and that Vishnu enters into everything, even into the minute atom. This fact is explained here. He enters into everything. Now, as far as the living entities are concerned, they are impregnated into this material nature, and as a result of their past states, they take a different position. Thus, the activities of this material world begin. The activities of the different species of living beings are begun from the very moment of the creation. It is not that all is evolved. The different species of life are created immediately along with the universe. Man, animals, beasts, birds, everything is simultaneously created. Because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. It is clearly indicated here by the word avasam that the living entities have nothing to do with his process. The state of being in their past life, in the past creation, is simply manifested again, and all this is done simply by his will. This is the unconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of God. And after creating different species of life, he has no connection with them. The creation takes place to accommodate the inclinations of the various living entities, and so the Lord doesn't become involved with it. Hare Krishna.
It's time 7:15.